Okay, so we got Dontavius here, a high jump coach. What the heck are we celebrating?
So we are celebrating going from 5K per month to going to 40K per month.
Dude, that's so awesome. That's in like 4 months, right?
Yeah, 4 months.
That's sick. You've 8 extra business in 4 months. All right, before we play the rest of this video, if you want help with this stuff, right? Like growing your business, scaling your business, it might be leads, it might be, closing more sales, maybe it's hiring a team, whatever it is. If you want help with this, click the link below this video, book in a time to chat with me, and let me see if I can help you grow. All right, let's get back to the video. Cool. I mean, I'd love to hear from you. Like, what were the biggest things that you did to get there? I ultimately just want to story tell so that like people watching this could like, pick up some gold, right?
Yeah. So I'll just kind of talk about where I was before.
Sure.
So where I was before was I was struggling to get qualified leads or people who
Hmm.
were my ideal client to buy, purchase my product so I can help them.
Hmm.
And, you know, the way it kind of changed for me was, when I was able to shift my appointment setting process. That was really big for me because that just allowed me to qualify people better,
Hmm.
and also just getting better at sales. And I feel like those are two of the main things that allowed me to get on the trajectory to get a little bit better to
Hmm.
now being able to be where I am now.
Got it. So in the beginning, like, were you struggling to just like, were you struggling to get leads or to get the leads to book or to close or like all three?
Right. So I honestly was struggling with every part. Because I was able to get leads, but I wasn't able to get a qualified lead. Right.
Got
So that was very difficult for me at first.
it.
Because I didn't know what to say and I didn't know how to, you know, get someone through my process who was someone who would actually become a client.
Got it.
I was at a point where I was just trying to get whoever I could through the funnel to try and, you know, s- get a new client instead of getting someone who could be a client.
Totally. Okay. So you had leads because you had a pretty big following and you still do have a pretty big following, right? But you just like weren't able to get as many people as you wanted on the phone with you, and the ones you did get like weren't qualified. We'll talk about why that is in a second.
Gotcha.
And then you mentioned sales too, like what was your close rate? Like when you did get people on the phone, do you remember what you were closing at?
Yeah, so it was like 10% to like 15%.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it was very low. Partially because I didn't have authority on the calls. I wasn't really displaying myself as much of a leader
Mhm.
and wasn't able to have some of that conviction, which kind of came from a lack of confidence in my offer
Mhm.
and my true ability to believe I could actually help these people. So yeah,
Got it. Okay. What were the main shifts that you feel you made? Like what was the needle mover for you?
I feel like one of the biggest things that helped me was, really talking to Ben, one of the sales coaches inside of the program,
Mhm.
just telling me that the value of my offer and
Mhm.
understanding that it's not about deliverables or anything that I may offer inside of my program. It was more about, okay, I'm giving my clients a transformation.
Yeah.
I'm allowing them to go from doing this to doing this,
Mhm.
right? And that was the biggest shift for me mentally because I learned that I'm no longer selling, okay, you can hop on a call, you can do this. I'm now saying, okay, look, we're right here and I can help you guys get here, right?
Mhm.
So that was the biggest change.
Got it. Okay, so it started with like your mindset around your offer and really feeling into this is not about Zoom calls, it's not about all these features. It's like how you're changing this person's life, and then you had more conviction.
Yes, whenever I understood that like I was the answer,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I can help you and I all I have to do is display the fact that I know that I can help you.
Mm.
Um, I was able to be more confident in my offer because I understood that when I'm on this call with this family or this athlete, it's not that okay, Dontavius can probably help them. It's that I can 100% help you. It's
Mhm.
all about can I display good enough that I am the answer? Because I already know that I'm the answer. I just have to convey that to the family.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a good way to bump your close rate is just increase your conviction with yourself, right?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
okay. And then the other part of close rate is, what's your sales process and handling objections and stuff like that. So, was there anything tangible that you did? I think you said some of the work you did with Ben was super helpful, but I'd love for you to share maybe some of that stuff.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna just tell it like this, just to story
Go
tell a
for
little
it.
bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was before I started, honing in and diving into sales better so I can learn how to, get people to understand the value that I provide. I was just kind of hopping on the calls kind of blind and just going through my calls and just seeing where they go kind of, with but then what really helped me, what changed everything for me was when I started to use tools to help me on my calls.
Mhm.
Um, Without going into too much detail, just, not necessarily having a so-called script, but understanding the most important things to my clients that are going to help them, that I
Right.
should speak about on the call.
Mhm.
Right. So being able to focus on a tool like that, and also having a presentation to give them an idea of what they're getting, uh, using those kind of things really help make things easier for me on calls with families.
Got it. Okay. So like having not like a script per se, but a flow where knew it's like I have to hit these things on the call, and then also having like a more I want to say like proper kind of presentation a little bit, so you looked the part kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, so that kind of was developed just from some of what you gave us
Mhm.
inside of the program. So understanding, okay, this is a flow, and this is what it can be, and you kind of displaying like you have to build this based off of your offer, or
Mhm.
you have to build this based off of what you provide, right?
Mhm.
We can't. You kind of told us that we can't just have what you have and just think it's gonna work for everything.
Yeah.
You have to shape it, you have to mold it. And whenever I thought about that, I said, I got to go in and fix this here and make this a little bit more molded to me. And that changed everything for me.
Got it. Okay. So better like sales call flow, we could call it sort of thing.
Yeah,
Okay. What about
personal.
objections? Did you get any work on like objections, like when you get to the end of a call and people are not a yes?
Yeah. So at first, whenever I would get to the call in the family or an athlete, they would be like, maybe not yes, right? Anything else but yes.
Yeah.
I used to kind of just let them, um, just get off the call and just be done. And not in a way of like, it's not like I'm trying to hold someone against their will or anything like that. It's more of I didn't have a way to understand, okay, what is on this person's mind.
Hmm. For sure.
So a lot of times the family would leave a call without all of their questions answered.
100%.
That's what I was running into a lot. But when I just learned a little bit more about objection handling, I learned how to better answer the questions for the families. Because a lot of times they would say, "Oh, we just want to think about it," and they had a 3 or 4 questions that I didn't know how to answer or even bring out of them at the time.
Totally.
But what I learned after improving in sales and things of that nature, I learned how to just help them ask their questions or, bring them into a space where they felt comfortable enough to say, Dontavius, what about this part? Or what about this part? Right? And just giving them a better space to where I can help them better.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that because that's true about objections, right? It's not necessarily about you like twisting someone's arm, but it's like they do have hesitations and you just need to figure out what they are so that you can answer them on the call. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say, yeah, the mindset shift for me was understanding that I'm not on a different side of the court or playing field as these people. It's
Yeah.
more of we are on the same side, and I'm trying to get them to just see what I see,
Mhm.
right? Because it's easy for me to see everything when I know the inside of what I provide. It's difficult for them when they don't know.
Mhm.
So I have to put myself in their shoes to get them to see, okay, this is what you're probably thinking, and this is how we handle this. So.
100%. That makes perfect sense. What else was I going to ask about sales? I think, did you do anything else? Well, what's your sales call close right now?
So the highest it's been was, I believe I did 40%.
Mhm.
So I went from the around 10 to 15 to now 40% in one of my months, which is a great jump.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and it makes a big difference when if you book 10 calls, it makes a very big difference when you close four of them versus when you close one. When you close one, you're like, man, I suck. Like you're like, oh my God. 'Cause it's defeating, right? Like you're like, oh my God, you just expect it almost on a call. You're like, oh, I'm not gonna close this probably, right? So it's
Yeah.
way different when you know like every two calls you get on, you're gonna have a client, right? Um,
Mhm.
so that's super cool. So that's in terms of, so the mindset was a big piece, your sales call, your flow was a big piece, learning how to navigate objections better was a big piece. What about like, let's loop back to qualifying the leads, because that impacts your, actually, let me ask you too, do you create a video sales letter?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I created a VSL, a video sales letter, and that that process, it actually took me a while to get into that. So
Yeah,
whenever I first started my business, I didn't have a video sales letter for like the first like 3 months or so,
right.
or 4 months. So I was kind of just what I would consider having leads more unqualified.
For sure. Yeah.
And so yeah, and you got any questions about VSL?
Yeah, I guess like, did you have that before we started working together, the VSL?
Yes, I had one, but it wasn't the superpower one that I have now. I don't know if you want me to discuss what
Yeah,
we
I
did.
mean, share the gold, share the gold. Yeah.
All right, so Morgan did something really cool for us. So she brought in a guy who specialized, in AI and YouTube, and client success. And what he did for us was he taught us the importance of utilizing YouTube to literally get sales and get more clients,
Mm.
right? So he really caused a really big belief shift with me, because he let us know that like the majority of all sales that you're going to get are going to come from long form content.
Mhm.
So if you do not have long form, he let us know that it's going to be harder for you in the long run.
Mhm.
So when he told us that, it really changed my mind. And then from that point, which was really cool, he gave us a tool to help us with our YouTube videos and more importantly, even with our VSL,
Yeah,
right? So we were able to build a AI bot using this platform, and it literally scripts our videos and it helps us with ideas to help us better, display value to our clients and give them what they need. So that was great, and I literally credit a lot of that to some of the success I've been able to achieve as well.
for sure. And for anyone watching this, like basically what it is it's a Claude bot that we have created where the clients like fill out a big document of certain information we're looking for, and then we give information to Claude, and you combine the two. They have a baby basically, and it's like, here's your video sales letter, and here's a ton of content ideas. So, okay, so that VSL basically that was warming people up better before they even got on the call with you. So you weren't getting like ice cold leads on the call with you. They already perceived you as an authority kind of thing.
Right. They already perceived me as the authority, but I didn't have, I would say, a high quality tool that I got after working and doing the Claude bot, that I have now that helps me display my value better, right? Just for more context, like when I joined the program, I had 3 clients, and then for all the other clients that I got, 20 plus up to this point, they were all nurtured by the new, video sales letter that displayed my value better.
Yeah, 100%. It's funny. You everything's so connected. Like there's so many little micro pieces that go into the how do you 8x, right? Okay, so that's one thing. We should loop back to that, by the way, because we totally forgot to write down long form content in this because you went on a hot streak with long form content.
Oh yeah.
Actually, let's go to that and then we can come back to how you like pre-qualified people because that's, well, actually let's do pre-qualified first because it's still in the sales thing, then we can loop back to long form. Does that make sense?
Yep. Makes
Um,
sense.
so because you said you were struggling to get qualified leads on the phone, and obviously if you get 10 people on the phone, but you know, seven of them unqualified, like you're not going to close many calls, right? So what did you do specifically to get like more qualified people on the phone? Was that like a DM qualification or a Calendly on your sales, or what was that for you?
Right. So when I first started, I was DMing the athletes would reach out and I would let them know, okay, we have to get the parents involved, and so that we can get you some coaching. But
Mhm.
most times, a lot of these athletes, they would most of the time just kind of hop on the call on their own, and I would have to get them the details to get to their parents.
Mm,
Um, but fixing my process, I was able to um make it to where the athlete could not, you know, get their way on the call without their parent, which is the way it should be, right?
mm.
The parent should be able to spearhead the process to see the value in it for their child. So I was able to better hone in my process to make it to where our parents can lead the way better.
Got it. Okay. So you were getting unqualified people on the phone because you would just get the athlete who's in high school who obviously doesn't have the funds to pay you, or highly likely that they don't, right? So
Right.
that
And
was the biggest thing for you is you needed to get the parent on the phone and probably both parents. I think we did, right?
yes, so both parents is great, just so both parents can understand what's happening.
Mhm.
Um, And on top of that, when I say unqualified, not only when I get was only getting an athlete that's unqualified, but even when I get a parent who didn't,
For sure.
wasn't the one who spearheaded the whole process, I
Yeah.
also consider that as unqualified, right?
Yeah.
And I say that because, if a parent is going to make a decision for their child, it can't just be the child goes through everything and answers all the questions and parent is just there. It
Mhm.
can't be that way because the parent knows nothing, right?
Mhm.
So I learned that, okay, I have to talk to mom and dad and get them involved so that they can understand what's happening for their child.
Yeah, for sure. That makes perfect sense. Because, like, you don't have, it's like, it's not like that's like the main qualification you would need. Like, other people would need maybe different qualifications in their setting process, but for you, it's like, are they trying to jump higher to get into some form of college scholarship, right? But then you just needed the decision maker was like the biggest blocker for you, kind of thing.
Yes, I needed the decision maker and, even better, a more qualified decision maker
Yeah,
and even better, two decision makers on the call at one time with mom and dad,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Makes sense. Cool. Okay, so that's a lot of things that went into improving your sales. I think that's five things now. So let's loop back to the long form content because I think at one point, so after we did the VSL, Claude AI bot for scripting things, we launched a YouTube challenge, which by the way, I feel like you're probably going to win, so I'm probably going to owe you some ad spend money. Um, so that could be fun. But yeah, you went on a hot streak with YouTube content because, like, I'd love for you to tell us about that. Like, how were you able to be that consistent and post 25 pieces of long form content in 25 days? Like, yeah, enlighten us.
Yeah, so after getting off that call, with the client success guys, Alex and Ethan, and understanding that YouTube is our biggest leverage point as business owners and think people who want to help someone.
Mhm.
So when I learned that, I said, okay, we got this challenge going. I'm just gonna see what I can do.
Mhm.
So I think I ended up getting to 30 in 30 days. I think I did a full 30, but
Yeah.
um, I was able to do it by batching. So one thing that we learned from, the YouTube guys, AI bot guys was it doesn't have to be perfect,
Mhm.
right? And even you told us this in the content module of our, the course program and whatnot. It doesn't have to be perfect. We have to provide value and it can be as raw and as authentic as possible. And as long as it's helping someone, that's all that matters. So when I apply both of those, I just say, you know what, I'm just going to film 14 videos in one day. I said, I'm just gonna put my camera on, film it, 10 minutes, boom, on to the next one, on to the next one. And I was able to just focus on that for one day, film like 10 videos in a day, film another 12 another day. And that just kept the momentum going the whole way. Because
Mhm.
all of the videos were filmed, I just had to schedule them and schedule them and schedule them.
Mhm.
And that's how I was able to do it.
How were you able to film that many videos in one day, though? Was that because the AI thing kind of gave you the title and the outline, or?
Yes, so I use the AI for ideas. So I
Mhm.
said, okay, I want to make videos on this, this, and this. What would be the best ways to do this? So if I like categorize my content from different things about high jump, mindset, things of that nature, the bot gave me different examples of what I could talk about, and I would go from there.
Got it. Okay. Cool. So that was filling that stuff out, and then if you needed to prompt it to get ideas, you could, and then it would give you a title, it would give you a rough outline, and then you would just sit down at your computer and just be like, boom, 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 boom.
Yep. I
That's
would
great.
just, since I know, I know how jump same way business, I could talk about it for as long as I need to get a good video out that's going to provide value.
Mm,
And I was able to shift my mind from, not only do I want to make a lot of YouTube videos, but I want to make videos that can help them, right? So that was the biggest thing.
for sure. Cool. Okay. So focus on service, basically.
Yeah.
I love it. Cool. Okay, what else do we want to talk about? So we talked about sales. We talked about long form content, so having better warm up. What about setting? Like setting and getting a setter and because it was closing calls, which was a lot of the warm up in the YouTube and the long form and the sales stuff. But then how are you getting those people interested in the calls? Like what did you do
Right.
specifically to book more calls?
Yeah. So I was able to, um, I would say hone in on my setting process just by being very straightforward. Um, you know, understanding where the families are and their athletes and where they want to get to, and just understand, okay, what do you need help with, right? And when I understand what they need help with, I just honed in on saying, okay, well, guys, I can help you guys out. This is what we do. I mean, we can hop on a call, and it's just I made it more streamlined, more straightforward, not trying to beat around the bush and take more time.
Mm,
It's just more of, I can help you guys if you guys want it. Let's hop on a call.
got it. So you kind of like streamlined your DM setting flow and just made it just less beat around the bush sort of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and to be more specific, with my following, things of that nature, since I do have a large athlete following,
Mm.
athletes usually reach out, and I was able to let the athlete know straight out the gate, like, I need to speak with your parents on the front end, and they would get their parents' information, and I was able to move forward from there and go straight streamline.
Right, right. So you'd put your qualification up front, make sure that the parents were involved, and then you'd go through your streamline process. And if they felt like it was a fit, you'd book a call kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense. Were you setting like, were you prioritizing setting at all before? Like, where were you at with setting? Were you doing setting or like, well, how come you weren't able to set calls prior, you know?
So beforehand, I was able to set, but I wasn't able to consistently set because
Mhm.
I would experience a so-called like burnout,
Mhm.
right? And that would come because I was getting calls booked, but like I said, in the past, it was with the athletes and they wouldn't bring their parents at times. And with no athlete, with just an athlete or just parents, no sales, right? And
Right.
when you get more clients, when you get to help more people, that's like your energy that refuels you to keep going.
Mhm.
So I was experiencing some burnout from setting because I wasn't able to get any results.
Right.
Um, but whenever I fixed my process, with you guys and just learning how to set better,
Mhm.
I was able to get rejuvenated whenever I would get more clients or I get a new family, right? I was able to keep honing in on my setting process and keep going,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because if you're putting in a lot of effort and you're not getting very much return, you're not going to keep putting in effort because it's not yielding anything, right? So it's almost like fixing your warm up and your sales process and all that stuff and getting more sales almost naturally kind of fixed your setting process in a way.
Yes, and that reminds me of the poking holes in the bucket analogy. I'm sure you've heard that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, like literally, there was nothing wrong with me as the entrepreneur, influencer, coach, whatever. It was
Mhm.
literally there was so many holes in my entire process that I could not move forward.
Right.
From the very beginning with appointment setting to pre-qualification to sales, I wasn't I was losing the entire way, just
Mhm.
water leaking from the bucket. And
Mhm.
whenever I just started to patch those up and fix them one by one, it just got better and better and better and better.
Mhm. Yeah, 100%. Like it wasn't just one hole, you had multiple little holes, and then it's like this the ship is sinking kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like no exaggeration. I had at least 15 holes in my bucket.
Yeah.
You know,
Got it.
you want to just say, okay, all these things, these little things that I could fix.
Yeah, 100%. Um, okay, so that covers setting. And you have a setter now, right? You have someone in your
Yes.
okay, and that's new. You're not like you've had a setter forever, but now you have somebody helping you with the DMs that you're not in there like all day long, basically.
Right. Yes, I do have a setter now, who's helping me with the entire process. So yeah.
That's great. The beginning of scaling with the team. I love it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's great. Um, do you want to say anything about KPIs? Because like you
Oh,
went ham on that too. Like you were not tracking stuff before, and you became like the tracking king. So
oh yeah. So yeah, I had my moments. Like I would have my moments whenever I dive into a new thing. Like Morgan just said, like I went really ham on YouTube at one point. I was going crazy on tracking and KPIs and all these bursts of energy like I would have in these different areas of where I needed it. They all kind of contributed to like the full on scaling that I was able to do. But tracking KPIs, at first, I didn't think tracking was reasonable. I felt like I don't need to track if I'm going to get on a call with somebody. I'm just going to talk to them and that'll be the end of it. But whenever I realized I didn't know who I was losing or what family I wasn't getting help, I was like, I literally cannot move forward unless I know what the numbers are.
yeah.
So I started using the KPI tracker that you guys had and just literally tracking everything.
Mm,
And that allowed me to see how many people I was talking to in a day, setting, had calls booked, sales made. And that really opened my eyes. I
mm,
was like, oh my goodness. So whenever I was feeling down because I didn't make this many sales or I didn't do this or didn't get this client, I was able to understand, hey, you only pitched the offer this many times. Like it's okay. Like you sold more than you thought you did, or you didn't really lose this family, you just have to follow up with them here, right? It just opened your eyes to what's really going on in your business.
yeah, like you can be less emotional about it and more logical kind of thing, and like just make decisions from a less emotional like place.
Yes, and that helped me so much. Like you say, logic over emotion.
Yeah. And then you know what to fix, right? Because like you might think emotionally that your sales numbers are super bad, and then you pour all your resources into sales when it's like actually you're just not setting enough calls, right? Like you're solving the wrong problem, you know? So, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And when you say that, it made me think of whenever I had got a few clients and then I went like a month and didn't get any clients. And I was like, what is going on? And when I went and started tracking my KPIs, I said, look, you're not even setting any appointments.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
was like, better yet, the appointments that you're setting are not even qualified.
Yeah.
Right. So there's so much that goes into it that just trickles down the stream of like, what did you do right here and what did you do here?
Yeah.
And
100%. I think this is really good for people to hear for sure because like more people need to track their stuff.
yeah.
Um, okay. Do you want to say anything about, I think we talked about kind of confidence in your offer and where that came from a little bit. Um, do you want to say anything about the team and accountability?
Yes. So, can I say names as well?
Oh yeah, for sure, for
Oh,
sure.
all right, awesome. So, one thing that really helped me, and this is coming from someone who has invested in coaching before. I invested in business coaching before Morgan's program, and my experience wasn't as great as it was with Morgan, and I credit a lot of that to the accountability piece. And when I say accountability, just the team members that are inside. All right, so whenever I first started. Mika, which is our content coach, she was checking in with me constantly just to see where I was, right? Have I watched some of the modules in the course? Am I hopping on calls and interacting and
Mm,
things of that nature? And at first I wasn't. I wasn't doing anything. And I was like, man, I really chose this to take that step and be more involved.
mm,
And whenever she just kept checking in with me, eventually, I came on and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And I realized that I didn't have the problem of like, it wasn't me, it was just I wasn't doing the work.
mm,
Whenever Mika kind of was checking on me consistently, it made me do the work, which got me the results,
mm,
right? So that was a big role that Mika played in that aspect. Now, when it comes to sales, now this one was good as well. So our sales coach Ben, I would hop on those sales coaching calls every time we would have them, and I would just come with a question every time, and just
mm,
Ben helped me dial in my process so much and helped me build my confidence so much, to the point where I'm in a position now that I just feel like, okay, I know that I can help this family, and I'm confident in my ability to let them know that I can help them.
Mhm.
Like, so Ben, I created a lot of my sales ability to Ben, a lot of my accountability to Mika, and just my entire process building. I mean, I would say to Morgan in general, from everything from setting to my content. It's so much that goes into it. Like, I could talk about it a lot, but yeah, that's team and what team has done for me.
Yeah, that's great. And it's funny because Meek and I were a little bit, we had conversation about this. Like, we were a little bit worried about you in the beginning. I was like, yo, like, we got to get him way more engaged. Like, I was like, we need momentum. Like, where is he? You know?
Yeah.
So I'm glad you came around and like you just you found another gear kind of thing. And then once you locked in, like you locked in, you know?
Yeah, and one thing that helped me too, like I said, okay, I want to be a rock star. I said, I'm
Mm,
gonna do whatever I need to be a rock star.
yeah,
Um, because
good.
I can help other people in the community. Like I can comment under their things when they get success to build momentum for myself. You know, because I felt like if I can be a rock star here and just be the best that I can be and help as many people who are on the same path as me, I'm gonna get better in that process as well. So that really motivated me to hop on as many coaching calls as I could, to be as active in the community as I could, and ask as many questions as I could, because I knew that if I just try to be a rock star, I'm gonna succeed.
Mm,
So that was my goal.
100%. If there's people watching this and they do end up like working with us, I hope that they listen to this part. It's like he's telling you how to be the best client and end up on a YouTube case study, right? So that's good. Speaking of that though, what about the community? I think you wanted to mention that.
Yeah, so at first I didn't necessarily know how the community aspect would work.
Mm,
I do have a community aspect, you know, with things that I provide, um, and social media, but it's like whenever I started to be interactive in the community and congratulate people on their success, that allowed me to, I would say, even build somewhat of, you know, friendships slash coworker relationships inside of the community, you know, even to the point where I was able to hop on solo calls with other program members so that we could help each other,
mm,
right? And that was the coolest thing ever because it's not it's not that I feel like, oh, I'm a coach, but it's like I felt like I had improved so much from not having really enough only enough clients to count on my two, three fingers to
mm,
having, you know, over 20 plus, and other program members were trying to see, okay, what is Dontavius doing that I can do that can help, and I'm able to literally hop on calls with them, talk to them and help them, and then they get more clients and they get more success. And I'm like, man, this is like a circle, like this is like a loop
mm,
of when you help other people, it comes back and this person gets to succeed, they get to pass it on. And it all started from the beginning of me not even engaging at all and learning I need to be a rock star.
mm. I love that. So you're saying like on those the community calls, like you'd learn from them, they learn from you, but you could give so much more back because like you had up leveled so much kind of thing.
Yes, because at first I was in the place where I could only ask questions.
Mm,
But then I got to a place where I had learned so much and been on so many calls
yeah,
that I already knew the answer
yeah,
to some of the questions that other people were asking,
yeah.
right? And it got to the point where I was on like a coaching call with Ben and our sales coach, and one of the clients asked the question of the program members, and Ben was like, Dontavius can answer this one.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, and I'm on the call and I'm just, you know, dishing it out, letting them know, look, this is what we can do. You can do this, you can do that. And, you know, bouncing it off of Ben, saying, Ben taught me this is how I used it. And I'm like, man, I have come a long way. And it was so cool to see. Like it's such immense growth that I've been able to experience
Yeah,
just being here, from not knowing anything to just being so confident.
yeah. That's great. I love it. Is there anything else you want to add?
Um, I would say I would say just to speak on my favorite part of the program,
Sure.
I feel like there is nothing is more valuable than having people to help you or be by your side.
Mm,
That is the most valuable thing, and that is why I started this program, because I said, okay, I'm gonna get this support and I'm gonna use it,
mm,
right? And I feel like in the past I didn't use it.
Mm.
And this time, when I used the support that I had, the return, let's say the return on investment was immense.
Yeah.
And one thing I want people to understand, like if you're listening, like when it comes to joining a program or a coaching program, a lot of times people think, oh, well, what's the value I'm going to get from it? What I learned is that the value is like never ending. Everything that I have learned from you guys, I'm going to have that knowledge for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So everything that I use to scale from, let's say, even 5K to 40K, I can use that to get to 100K eventually. And past that, like everything that I've learned is scalable. It's like you become scalable in yourself from everything that you learned,
Yeah.
right? So that's one thing I wanted to say, just how beneficial this whole experience has been for me.
That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
It's great. Um, Out of curiosity, was there anything that almost prevented you from signing up? Or were you like you were already in? Like, did you have any fears? Because you had had programs in the past and you didn't say you got exactly what you were looking to get out of it, right?
Right. I would say one thing that prevented me, well, was I was thinking about was me comparing your program to the a program that I had just joined, or
Mm,
me thinking, okay, if this program is this, what can this one be?
mm,
Um, so yeah, comparison was the main thing, and me thinking, will I get a different result? That was the main thing, and I said, okay, the only variable in this whole thing was me. It
mm,
didn't have anything to do with what was present, here or there. It was more about me taking the initiative.
mm,
And the only way I was able to get into that position to take that initiative was number one, accountability from Mika. Because
mm,
like we talked about, I was dead weight at first. I was just there until I started to use everything.
mm,
Um, so yeah, the main thing I would say, comparing this to other things, was what kind of almost hindered me.
mm,
But I understood after getting into it and actually being active,
mm,
it's not really comparable because you are the main variable. And when you guys provide all these resources for us, the
mm,
only way you fail is if you do not utilize,
mm,
right? And you guys had so much for us on the inside from the coaches with content or sales, and even you bringing other people in to help us on top of that,
mm,
that just changed everything,
mm.
right? So the value, like I say, the value that we were able to get, it far transcends, I would say, the initial investment.
For
Like
sure.
I'm just being honest. Like it far transcends that. Like
Yeah.
40x.
You made like 10x like just in a month, right? Or whatever it
Yeah.
is. Um,
Yeah.
I guess what you didn't know that when you were on the other side though. So what made you go forward? Like was there a thought in your head that you had where you like I'm just curious what happened in your brain when you were like, yeah, let's do it, you know?
Yeah. So I was like, I'm just gonna say how I found you first, right? So I was on Instagram and I was just scrolling through content and I saw you had the acquisition.com hat on that you have on now. And I was like, okay, well, she knows about Alex and Mosey and these great business people that I follow. And I saw, okay, I saw that you said, okay, you did 100K a month. And I was like, that is really cool. And eventually you shot me a DM and I was like, okay, if this girl, if she can do 100K a month, I'm like, she knows something that I don't know. I was
Mhm,
like, she knows something about business that I don't know because I haven't been able to do 100K a month. I've only been able to do a 5K,
mhm,
right? So that was one thing that kind of brought me to you.
mhm.
Um, but when it comes to actually taking that step and joining, actually, what did you just ask me? I forgot.
Well, I'm just curious, like, I'm just imagining if I was you, right? Like, you be in this situation, you had
Mhm.
made an investment before, you're like, is this going to be the same thing? And you don't know because you're on the outside. So, like, what were you thinking, you know?
I was thinking leap of faith.
That's what you're
I
thinking?
was, yes, I was thinking, let's do this. I was like, look, I know that if I put my mind to it, I will succeed.
Mm,
I knew that. And I was like, even though I may have just saw Morgan's content for the first time here, I know that she's had success. I know that I had already invested in the program and I'm technically, the program is still rolling. I'm still in it, but I'm like, I'm not active. I'm just gonna take this leap of faith, try something new,
mhm,
see what I can get because I know that I can succeed if I put the work in.
for sure. So you're just
That's
willing
all.
to take that jump.
Yeah, I was willing to take that jump. I was like, I can do this. And I just have to trust in the team that I'm investing in.
Yeah. Got it. So you're just willing to bet on yourself. You're like, I know if I put in the work, it will, I can make it happen.
Oh yeah, so no fear, right? Like definitely have some fear. I don't want to say no fear, but I have I have more faith and I'm more confident in my ability to perform after putting in work than I am gonna let something scare me from even taking a step.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%. Cool. Makes perfect sense.
I love
Um, I think I think that's mostly all I've got. I guess like what does this make possible for you going forward? Like does this change your life materially at all that you can make 40K a month now? Like are you gonna do anything differently or is it an
it.
impact thing for you or yeah.
So I treat business like for me, this doesn't change anything I would say materially for me. So I've been driving the same car since I was in high school and everything. Like I'm not in it for that. So the main thing for me is I can help more people, right? And one way that more people will look at like, oh, well, you can make more sales, you can make more money. Like that's awesome. But if I just think about it like if one day I can help 200 people, 300 people, 400 families get better in a sport, that's what I'm looking at, right? And that allows me to stay more fulfilled when I'm doing it. Um, so what it makes possible for me, I get to help more people. And now that I know that I can help 5 people and that I can help 10, I know that one day I can help 20, which I've helped 20, and I know that one day I can help 1,000,
Mhm.
right? So the more people I can help, the better I'm going to feel, right? And the main thing for me, since I do have the large following on social media, I've already had the reach with my videos that have gotten millions of views and helped millions of people. But now I get to do it in a more direct way with my business
Mhm.
and coach these people more directly. So that's what it makes possible for me. I can help more people.
Cool. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. Um, yeah, so it's more of a like, I mean, you obviously love this stuff. Like if you coach, you like to coach, and so it's like you get to share your gifts with people and help them and like I mean, you get compensated very well for it. So, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Sweet. That's all I've got, unless you have anything else.
Um, I do not. I do want to say thank you. And thank you guys and the whole team just for, everything that you guys have done for me and everybody else that's a part of the program. Um, as much as, we may have to take that step to invest with you guys, me, with my understanding as a coach myself, coaches have to invest back into, their program members. And I feel like you guys truly do that when you're talking about investing in the program members, when you talk just with the chat support that you provide us, hopping on the calls every time, always there. And
Mhm.
even you guys taking that effort to bring in other people to help us in
Mhm.
the other areas that we may need help in. Like, I really do appreciate that. And, I like that a lot and it's helped me so much.
Cool, cool. All right, once again, I hope that you thought this was helpful. I hope this was valuable for you. If you want the absolute most value that I can provide to you, I promise you it's not going to be in a video. It's going to be by freaking working together and letting us help you execute this stuff. So, if you want help executing this so that you can grow your business, scale your business, click the link below and find a time to book in a chat with me. I'll see you there.